Last recording was the only time I ever didn't wear a hat.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Even when I got my haircut.
Yeah.
You
did just get a haircut.
Yeah, she was like, how do you style your hair? And I was like, I think I just throw some like product in it and just like kind of not like slick it back like an Italian, but like kind of just
Some
put it
fucking
back,
Italian.
some Guido. No, and she was like, okay. Like, she seemed kind of confused. I didn't know. And after a moment, I was like, 99% of the time I'm wearing a hat.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah. Make it look good here. Up here, I've given up. Just
because even she's like, how long do you want it and this and that? And I was like, I really don't care. Like, exactly right. Just lower head, beard. Anyway.
Crazy.
All right.
I like that song.
All right.
Go on.
That's it. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the next episode of Fake Philosophers.
Fake Philosophers. Hey, it's Big Dick Mitch and Mike. What's up, Mike?
ITL award-winning Mitch over here.
QAnon believer Mike Glenny over there. I'm sorry. No last name. Sorry. Believe that.
It's been too late. Y'all fucked that up already.
I fucked that up. Yeah.
Anyway, this is going to be a segment-heavy episode, meaning we're doing 2 segments back to back.
Segments.
First segment, EverAfter. If you're a new listener, you're a new viewer or listener.
New viewer or listener.
EverAfter is we mention a movie, story, play, book, anything, and we talk about what we think happens afterwards.
Did they live happily ever after, or did they live ever after, or not?
Well, not.
We previously did Armageddon, and quickly pointed out that most of that character group did not live ever after.
They lived ever after, just not happily.
Yeah.
So this time, and I think this will be a quick one.
Yeah. Mike asked me, think of a movie, and I always go to Fight Club. That's I
think that's an interesting
one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah,
so.
that's one of the few movies based on a book where the author of the book said the movie was better than his book.
Yeah.
Which I think is awesome. That an
so
author
awesome.
is not egocentric enough to where he can say that.
That and I think The Godfather. Mario Puzo wrote the book The Godfather, I think, because he helped write that.
Yeah.
Off topic.
But
we're not going to tangent tonight, Mike.
No tangents.
No tangents.
Tangent show.
So Fight Club. If you haven't seen it, just stop listening. But if you have seen it, it ends with Tyler, the real Tyler, in the
narrator.
You know what's funny is in the narrator. I've also heard him referred to as Jack. Because he's constantly saying
Jack,
constantly whatever. But Tyler Durden, the real Tyler, Edward Norton, and Marla watching all the buildings explode and all that. So where did they go from there? Did his alter ego ever come back? What do you think?
I think if the alter ego came back, it would be like a decade later.
Ooh.
Like not in the recent future, if that makes sense. But like a decade or two later, once like he becomes, because that was the big moment when he shot himself.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
Killing the other guy because
right.
he got that confidence, he got that whatever.
Yeah.
He might come back like 10 or 20 years later. What I think would happen, so if I haven't watched that movie in a long time, I know you're a diehard fan. So if I recall, the buildings they were blowing up held like the servers to like credit card companies, right? So they're just wiping the debt clean. I think that probably failed
because it turns out there are other buildings.
I feel like it's not. I feel like it's a network.
Yeah, usually.
That
companies that can afford buildings that big usually have other buildings.
They probably have a backup plan.
Yeah.
Of some sort.
To this day, I'm still not sure where that took place. I've heard it was Miami, and then I heard it was out of a suburb of Chicago.
I feel like they made it vague on purpose.
Oh, I know they absolutely did, and the filming locations were specifically all over the place. Yeah. So, but I'm going to go with Miami. But.
Sure. Well, no, if we're going the symbology of the movie, is that it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's every place.
Yeah. Like with his other film, the director Fincher, Seven, the movie Seven.
Yes.
Intentionally filmed in like 4 different metropolitan cities to keep it vague, so that you would know. But anyway, off topic.
Same director?
Yeah.
Oh. I see it now.
Both movies flopped.
Now that you said it. Yeah, horrible movies, both of them.
Is it really? I'm going to fact check because I'm 90% sure. But you know what? Yeah. It's fucking same.
Confident enough. Okay. If we're wrong, comment. We're going to tell you how fake you are. That you're the fake news. You're wrong.
You're inaccurate. Hey, read the title of our podcast, bitch.
Like, I googled it. Google's liberal bias.
And we're fake anyway. It's all good.
And we're fake anyway. But I can see it anyway.
Marla has definitely, because like, what is it in the beginning of the second act where she attempts suicide,
Yeah.
and then now her life's back together. So I hate to say it, but I feel like she tries again.
First, there's the credit card debt. I feel like this is the country itself will say this is a huge terrorist attack,
Right?
and
They will be found out.
and it's just gonna happen. even if they blame it on a terrorist group in the Middle East, someone's going down for this shit.
Yeah.
It might not even be what is it, Operation
Project Mayhem.
Project Mayhem. Sorry,
Okay.
it's been around a while since.
Yeah.
Even if they don't blame Project Mayhem, because they did have some guys that were like up high.
Yeah.
They're blaming someone. There's a terrorist attack. Blah blah blah. But the country will unite. It's going to be a 9/11 situation. Like, think of the servers that were in the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
they had backups. Like, nothing happened. Like,
Guess what the stock market did the next day? It traded.
yeah. So I mean, like, it was great, and I feel like that moment where it's like, well, at least his credit card debt's like clear, like everything's gonna be fine. No, the next day, people are gonna go to work and be like, oh wait, hold on, click. Yeah, we just have the backup. The backup servers across the country are still up. We're good.
Yeah.
No, so that's that. There's definitely some of them are gonna get arrested.
There is a line that Brad Pitt's Tyler has where he says, one step closer to reaching, he calls it economic equilibrium.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, just plain, like, clean slate. But
No,
that probably didn't do much.
that's really romantic, but no.
No, it is really romantic. The whole movie's really a romance film.
But no, so that, because to be honest, I never even thought about that until you said, why don't we do Fight Club?
Yeah.
And so I started thinking, like, okay, literally right before we started recording, I was like, okay, what would happen? And I was like, really? Even for the time, so I know like, technology has changed. I was like, even for the time, no.
No.
They would have backups.
I heard this point made today, actually, on the radio. They were talking about the Weather Underground, the group back in the 60s and 70s that were blowing up government buildings because they were anti-war and pro-socialist, and they were really crazy. And the guy made the point, it's like, well, there's one of these groups every generation. There's Antifa, there's Weather Underground. There's like some kind of radical leftist, super leftist group that goes way out of hand, and most of them get arrested, and then that's that. Fight Club would have been that. Like, Project Mayhem would have blown up some buildings and they would have been rounded up. Some of them probably would have been politicians later, but most of them would have just gone to jail.
I've always thought it would be interesting seeing like a spin-off of Fight Club taking place during the same time, but just seeing like how deep they had people.
Oh yeah.
Like if the image just actually made me laugh. Ted Cruz and Jim Jordan in a basement fighting. Like, just, you know what I mean? Like, like I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi and Marjorie Taylor Greene fighting
my God,
and then helping each other up, hugging. Yeah. This is all an act.
Not even like big league or whatever, but like, even Jen Psaki like slugging it out with Candace Owens or something.
Yeah, and then they make out after, and then they're like, we're just fucking everybody.
It's like, dude, you know how much money we make the more people are pissed off at each other? Come on.
Yeah, no, I think that spinoff would be brilliant to see how much people they had in their pocket.
Yeah,
but no, so there's that. As far as Marla's concerned, so yeah,
Marla,
quick recap. As far as the financial situation, nothing changes.
Nothing changes there. Yeah,
the government's like terrorist attack, the country unites, and some poor bastards that had nothing to do with it.
Some insurance companies got boned because they had to pay for all those buildings.
Mm-hmm.
But the city probably got sued for some reason.
Some terrorist group in the Middle East will take responsibility for it because they're like, yeah, we did that. And then, you know what I mean?
No, are you kidding? Fox News would jump on that and be like, these leftists are blowing up our buildings because, they want to, yeah.
But there's always going to be conspiracy, whatever.
Yeah.
The point is, nothing changes.
Nothing changes.
As far as Marla is concerned, and the narrator, Jack, if we'll call him that, I feel like this is the way QAnon should have went. So I keep saying Marla aside, Marla aside, like kind of after like January 6th and some other things were like, Q said this and it didn't happen. Q said this, it didn't happen. Eventually, people should go, oh, this is bullshit. And so I do feel like everyone following Project Mayhem
and Fight Club and all that,
they might still do the Fight Club, but like the bigger picture thing, they'd be like, yeah, we blew up the fucking banks and blah blah. And then when things go back to normal within days, they're probably like, well,
this is dumb. I shaved my head for what?
Yeah, like, you beat the shit out of me for what?
Jared Leto had the lawsuit.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna argue with myself. Maybe they don't.
Maybe. Cults, they're, It was a cult. It was seriously a cult.
Absolutely a cult. Absolutely a cult. Or Jack, the narrator, pretty much, unless Tyler Durden already told everyone, if I say this, don't follow me. But he might just kind of try to shut it down. But maybe Tyler Durden already planted that seed of like, don't listen to me.
Yeah.
Marla's dead within 6 months anyway.
She gets pregnant and dies in prison.
Well, no. She's a fuck. No, two predictions. Either one, yeah, she's dead within 6 months. Because even the narrator himself, he's not like a good guy to hang out with. That guy's a fucking mess anyway.
It's toxic. Yeah, they're just toxic both, yeah.
But so then Marla, either that, she tries to stick with them after this crazy shit. He explains Tyler and the whole him being fucking schizo. And she sticks with them and she ends up going more nuts than she already is. Or two, she's like, she does say like, I just witnessed skyscrapers coming down caused by the guy I'm fucking.
Red flag.
So either she goes state's witness.
Yeah.
State's evidence.
State's evidence.
Sorry.
Yeah,
she becomes a witness. She comes and she does that.
Yeah.
And starts her life somewhere else. Or she just leaves to go off. But I can see her turning state's evidence.
It's either or maybe they go back to the way it was before they found out, or before Jack found out who he was, and they just kind of like on the casual. Like sometimes they meet up, sometimes not. Marla's out doing her thing. Tyler goes back to work and running Fight Club, and they just continue that until one of them dies, and then go on.
Maybe that's another alternative.
I think that's the most plausible or the most believable.
Yeah, I can see that. And then, but yeah, as far as Project Mayhem is concerned, I do remember because there was the scene where like the government guys at her house or whatever was like talking about these underground fight clubs and blah blah, and then they confronted him.
Yeah,
the big scene,
in
like
the bathroom,
we cook your meals, we do that, and so it's like, okay, would they actually get caught, or would if it's the right saying like, oh, these leftist groups, or if it's them just blaming a terrorist group, whatever it is, would they actually get caught,
or would they just fizzle? Like a couple of them get caught up.
Mm-hmm.
Project Mayhem is we don't ask questions, whatever, and
like the top tier gets caught up.
Yeah, like one or two, and then the rest just kind of like fizzle out, do their own little things every now and then. They become kind of like those eco-terrorist groups, kind of like occasionally pop, like Anonymous, the hacker group, like would randomly pop up here.
Or even like if you think like Al Qaeda or some of those terrorist groups, once like the leadership got blown out, like they did kind of splinter off into their own smaller sects.
Yeah, that'd be more what it is.
I would like if that. Is that author still around?
He's last I heard he's writing a sequel to Fight Club.
Because I think that would be actually fascinating. Now that we're talking about it.
I don't know if
well, sure.
Yeah, but if yeah.
I think that'd be fascinating.
Yeah. Chuck Palahniuk.
Okay.
Huge fan, can't pronounce his
name. But I do think it would be kind of interesting kind of doing a spin-off of seeing just how high they got.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It might be one of those things like Boondock Saints 2, though, where the fans demand so much from all different levels, so no matter what the writer-director puts out, it's not going to be satisfactory.
You know what? I heard that about Boondock Saints too, but I actually enjoyed the shit out of it.
I loved it.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
They played their classics.
Right.
And still added on. Anyway,
thank you.
So that was EverAfter.
That was good.
For Fight Club.
Just talking about toxic relationships. What are those things that it's blanking on me. The those things you stand on that have the two wheels on the side.
Segways.
That's a good that into we decided to do the latter half of this
segment show
for we're going to get into a little Mitch's List is here. So I decided to let Google do the talking. I started typing into Google top reasons for, and the first result that like came into the autofill on Google was top reasons why middle school relationships break up. So having like, we're old enough now that we could have middle school kids.
Shut the fuck you. You're right. You are right. I thought you were going to end that sentence differently.
13 years ago, we were like in our
I know
20s,
I understand.
We could have had our little 20s.
Our little 20s. Our little 20s.
I'm going to call it that from now on. No longer early 20s. They're the little 20s.
The little 20s.
The little
lowercase 20s.
So I found a list, believe it or not, reasons why middle school relationships are stupid. The top 10s, and there's like 13 or 14 of them, but I'll go ahead and go through. Number one reasons why middle school relationships are stupid. Most of the time, it's not real love.
No argument.
Okay.
This might be a quick one.
Okay. What is real love, though? I mean, okay, if you want to get into like the pure carnal, just endorphin hormonal like sense of it, like your body wanting another body, there's nothing purer than a middle school kid
Having
dealing with all those hormones.
Because you know what, I will say, and granted, it was, I'm not going to say like, oh, love of my life, but like, I remember, I think it was just after 8th grade, I went out with the girl, and it was actually a very strong emotional connection.
Yeah.
So like, it wasn't just physical, like, or anything. Like, I mean, we fucked.
Wasn't just physical?
Wasn't just physical. I mean, it was a little physical. So I get it, but no, like, I've heard of people who like dated in middle school, on and off, or even throughout high school, and they end up together and they're happily ever after. But yeah, 99 times out of 100.
I heard on a podcast this guy, he was talking about, he was engaged, he was going to get married like the next week when he was doing this episode, and he's 45, and his fiance was like 38 or something, like, you know, but like they're along, and they're finally got engaged and they're finally getting married. But he's doing this podcast, and he had a guy come on who is 20, who just got married to his high school sweetheart that he'd known for 10 years or so. They knew each other their whole life, and he gets into it, and they're getting married and they're super happy and whatever. So the host of this podcast was asking him like, wait, what the fuck? Okay, either you are the luckiest person in the world to have found your soulmate when you were 10, or this whole soulmate thing is just bullshit. Mm-hmm. I spent 40 years and I finally found the person. Come to find out they get divorced. But like that was, you know, that's my soulmate and I found her finally. Meanwhile, you just found a person. So is it a soulmate? Do you need to find that person, or can it be most people?
I think it's just a compatibility thing too.
But
there's a ton of layers to it. But yeah, no, I think there's truth to both sides of that.
Do you believe in a soulmate? Like you're the one you were supposed to be with?
I don't know if I believe in that.
I don't.
Because I feel like if there is such thing as...
I sit here a married man, like, no, it's not.
This was just chaos. No, I do feel like I love my fiance.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be...
Disclaimer. I mean, disclaimer. Of course, come on.
But I do feel like if there was someone that like I was quote unquote supposed to be with, I screwed that shit up already. I took the errant path. I took the wrong turn.
Same. Okay. Same.
So I don't necessarily believe that like when you're born, it's like that there's that person out there that you're supposed to get with.
For. No. There was a time when I like sat down with myself and we had a great discussion. And I said, okay, what's it about?
As you do.
Okay, values. I want these values, these values. I don't want to marry a checklist, but I want these values. These are like flex values, kind of, these are, deal breakers, whatever. So I want this, kind of want this, absolutely not this. And 5 years later, I was engaged. So it really, it's like, it's not that I like found the nearest person and whatever, but it's not necessarily one in a billion, whatever kind of chance.
I think it's just because there's also timing too, without going into... I won't say the relationship to this person because I don't want, if they actually watch the show, I don't want to embarrass them. But no, someone I know, they met someone when they were, I believe, 17 or 18. And the other person was like 19 or 20. So it was like close enough. It wasn't like, oh, he's fucking pedophile. It was like close enough. And it was absolutely like the best relationship I've seen them in. But timing, the point in their lives, the other person was moving away, but like that was a connection. It was great. Had it been 10 years later, that would have been it.
Yeah.
That would have been it. Easy.
I do believe that. Yeah. Like the perfect people, but the wrong time.
Yeah. Because timing is part of it. Yeah, timing is absolutely part of it.
Absolutely.
And so that's where like the middle school thing, and don't get me wrong. Like obviously it never happened, but like the chick I was talking about, I saw her a couple of years ago. She lives out of state now, but she flew back in for something. And then she came by the bar when I was bartending, and like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like, oh, the love's rehatched from our 8th grade. Like, it wasn't like that, but there was like a bond there. Like there was something there. Like we like gave each other a hug. Like this was dope.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Like there was something there though. It wasn't like we were like, oh, all the memories are coming back from when we made out behind the tree in the park.
Let's go. Let's get out of here.
It wasn't like that, but there was kind of still like a bond. Like there was like that thing.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah. But anyway. Excuse me. But 99 times out of 100, you're not in love in middle school.
In middle school, yeah.
I do feel like if you start dating in middle school,
Yeah.
and then it perseveres.
Yeah.
Sure.
That, is kindred soul. I do believe in kindred souls. I don't know
Kindred
if
soul's fine because kindred soul is not you're meant to be. It's
Right.
that you happen to find someone.
I don't believe in a soul mate, but I do believe in kindred souls.
I would agree with
People
that.
are compatible, like you said. And if they can stick it out, then they have the history to go with it and whatever. Don't get me wrong, history can sometimes be a very toxic obligation. But
Sure.
anyway, moving on. That's a whole other thing.
So
Number
deep,
2.
so deep into a middle school.
Yeah, these middle schoolers. Granted, I was an angsty motherfucker when I was 13.
Yeah.
I think we all were.
I went back and forth.
Yeah. Okay, number 2. Reasons why middle school relationships don't work. It's just funny reading the title. Okay. Most people aren't mature enough. Okay,
No argument.
find me a fucking 28-year-old millennial and tell me he's mature enough.
I can find you a few.
Ah, fuck you. No, you can't. They still bitch.
I could find you some boomers who aren't mature enough.
Okay, that's the point I'm making.
Yeah,
is
okay,
that
yeah,
it's
okay.
like, of course. But for a broad statement, okay, yeah.
I thought of a really bad joke. We know someone who knew a 13-year-old that was really mature for his age.
Yeah.
That's a
no
story.
details.
I think that's a story
Let's see
for a
how we
different
can
day.
like tell it without any details.
I think that's a
we
story
knew someone.
I
This was years and years ago.
I would tell it. Just change names.
So we were in a musical,
Do we want to say it right now or?
maybe. We'll come back to that.
we'll see how
We'll come
much
back to
time.
that
We'll
one.
see how
That's
time,
okay. Number 3. That might be a rant episode or something.
Eddie
Okay.
might have to be here for that one.
Okay. Number 3.
If Eddie wasn't in Guatemala building a church, he would like to be part of that conversation.
Wherever he is. We love you, Eddie. Get back safe. So yeah, not mature enough. Yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
Number 3, they cause you to be included in gossip. The reason why the relationship,
So far these seem like just could apply to anything.
these seem like to me, they just seem like reasons why middle schoolers are shitty. They just do this.
The gossip thing. So on a tangent, I remember like even working at the bar in college and any social circle, people say like, "This is annoying," and just reminds me of high school drama. And I'm like, but at some point I was like, is it high school drama or are people just predisposed to being dramatic?
Absolutely agreed.
So that's where that one.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Drinking beer bubbles. That one, it's like, oh, if you're in a relationship, you're gonna be gossiped about. Like that shit happens anyway.
Yeah. They cause you to be included in gossip.
Sorry, I'm disappointed in this. I was really looking forward to this list.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
I got pregnant too early. He beats me.
The middle school talk.
The good. Well, my middle school. No, oh, white suburban kid. We did no problems. It was great. Number 4.
What?
Reasons why middle school relationships don't work causes needless stress. Do middle school kids stress out about their fucking?
I mean, they did.
Oh,
to be
my
fair,
God. Yeah,
they did.
Let me think. Was I stressed about girls in junior high? Not really. Oh my God! No.
I was a little stressed about, not like stressed now.
Now I got a wedding to pay for.
If we're comparing stresses, no.
It's really fun reading this as someone twice the age.
Yeah. But I guess for the time, I could see the stress, but no, not compared.
Okay, so the way this is formatted is that it'll say the main point and then a couple of quotes. I guess people like probably read it, sent some comments or whatever.
Some yearbook quotes.
Hags. Or no, what was it? See you. Have a great summer. Hags. Have a great summer.
Sure.
That was the thing. Anyway, I was just in a relationship with the most beautiful girl in school, and she broke up with me because all the stress that was being caused. I'm very glad that I've never dated at school. It can distract you from your education.
God,
okay, newsflash.
All right.
You don't learn shit in junior high.
But
Sorry.
you
should.
Wise, you
You
do.
should.
I did.
I did not. They taught me stupid shit and the stuff. All they taught me in junior high was how to prepare for high school. That's it.
Well, that's sad for you.
It was dumb. I take it back. I did learn a lot. I was just angry. I learned history. Actually, I learned a love for history in junior high. So, okay, I give it that. Okay.
I learned how to fuck with substitute teachers. I have some great ones. To be saved
Did you
for
say
another
some
day.
gray ones?
Some great ones.
Great ones. Okay. Also good.
Yeah.
Number 5. Reasons why middle school relationships fail. You could get in trouble. In my school district, there are rules against
You could get in trouble?
In trouble. In my school district, there are rules against PDA and detention can be issued if caught. Any, quote, inappropriate touching, end quote, or sending nudes, what the fuck, could lead to legal issues or expulsion.
Wait a second. First of all,
where was this?
So I don't know, this is where my head went, because I think if I got anything from my dad, it's like, go to the money first.
Like nudes?
Well,
from your dad?
Well,
go on.
This is a traumatic childhood. No, so middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Yeah.
So my nephews, my oldest nephews are 11. I think turning 11 this year. Who's getting a cell phone at that age?
They are, all of them. Now, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's where my head went, was like, they're sending nudes to each other. I was like, who has a cell phone? I didn't even think of the nudes. I was like, who has a cell phone?
The nudes, whatever. But we all found magazines. They don't even have magazines anymore, man.
But no, they're sending nudes.
Yeah.
That's different than looking at a magazine.
Right. Yeah. Eesh.
No, that was a dark. I had a dark thought.
This is eliciting a lot of. No. Yeah, this is eliciting a lot of dark thoughts. Number 6, can lead to bullying. That's why you don't want to be in a relationship, because it can lead to bullying. You're dating her, you fag.
You like girls?
Gay.
That one's dumb.
Yeah, dumb. Okay, number 7, you probably don't have enough money to support them. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Why you don't date in middle school is because you can't take them out.
That's not what it said. It said to support them.
Okay, yeah, that is what it said.
You're not supporting their dreams.
I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt.
You're not paying for Little League.
Okay, but as an adult, the proper way to say it is you don't have money to pay for a date. As an angsty 13-year-old who wants to ask this girl out because you're going to live with her the rest of your life, I need to support her.
No, I don't buy that one. I
didn't date because I was broke.
That's okay, fine. That's because you couldn't take her out. That's not because you were trying to support her.
Let's say if that's what it said instead.
What?
That you probably instead of you probably don't have enough money to support them. Reasons why middle school relationships didn't fail is because I didn't have any money and I was too young to work.
I would accept that.
Okay,
I would accept that.
Number 8, your life shouldn't peak in middle school.
What the?
These kids are growing up too fast, man.
Your life should. So
well, wait for high school for that shit.
Jeez, I'm not even gonna. That's an argument against dating in middle school.
Yeah.
So when you begin dating, you're just peaking.
Yeah, all the time.
I didn't peak, if I would call it peaking, in years into dating after high school.
First time I peaked, it was an accident.
All right.
Wait, what are you talking?
Wait a second. Wait, what's the definition?
What a peak in middle school.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Unless you, because I would say once you start, quote unquote, dating, you have 5 or 6 years until you peak, with exceptions.
Right.
So to peak in middle school, are you like just crushing pussy in 3rd grade? Like,
we're gonna get indicted. I swear. Number 9, it usually ends after a few days. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay. No comment there. That's yeah. The reasons why middle school relationships don't work out. Number 10, most of the boys are perverts. Yeah. What are some of the? I don't know if I want to read some of these. Agreed. Obviously, not all of them are, but my first relationship in 8th grade lasted 3 days before the guy wanted to start grabbing ass. Smack my head. Exactly.
Smack my head. What?
SMH.
Oh, that's shaking my head.
Really?
SMH is shaking my head.
I thought it was
like shaking my head.
Really?
Shaking my head.
I learned something today. Wow.
That's gonna be both. No, because then it's face palm.
Face palm. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay. How old am I?
That's what when you said that I thought you were correcting yourself. You're like, oh wait, smacking my ass, and I thought you said like grabbing my ass, smacking my head, and I was like, what kind of middle school?
Shaking my head. That makes sense. That's so much better. Okay, number 11. They never even talk or just be awkward around each other. Yeah, that's why relationships don't work, because they haven't reached the mature point in which they can
be awkward.
They could say how they feel or what's the word? Excuse me. Communicate how they feel or what they want.
I would say there's truth to that too, with exceptions. Because like as I mentioned earlier, the young lady, that I dated at around 8th grade or after 8th grade, we actually were actually had really good communication.
Oh, wow.
And we talked about our feelings and everything.
I will say you were a white sheep because everybody I knew in junior high were dumb, boys and girls. They were just.
You mean a black sheep?
No, you were the good in just a sea of terrible.
But the black sheep's the one that stands out.
Right. I'm saying the norm is the black sheep. They're all just bad. It was a bit. I'm sorry. It was dumb. I tried to. Okay.
I just didn't catch on right away.
I'm sorry. They never even talk or just awkward around each other. That's what it was like during the relationship, which was only 2 weeks. Number 12 usually ends in heartbreak. They all do. They
I feel like it's not yes, but it's one of those things like, oh, I'm so heartbroken. And like the next day they're dating the next guy.
Yeah. Okay.
So
number 13, way too much drama always ends in crying.
Same that applies across the board. That I could say that to the people I see at the bar crying because their boyfriend just broke up with them.
Yeah.
And they're 47.
Yeah, again, that's not
I think I've literally heard not just women, men too, at the bar. Maybe the men aren't like crying as much, but like it's like, you know what, man, you deserve better than that bitch. All she is drama and gossip and bullshit.
People don't grow up.
It's the same. That's what I told you when they say like it's just why is there so much high school drama? I'm 27. I'm like maybe it's not high school drama. Maybe it's just that
it's
people
you,
are
dude.
insane.
It's you. Number 14 could lead to sexual intercourse. Number 15,
But I was like, that's why it doesn't work.
That's why it doesn't work.
It's because it leads to pleasure.
I guess.
All right.
Okay.
Fine.
Middle school. We're talking about junior hires. Number 15, they hardly ever end up getting married. And I like that. I like that.
Right.
I mean, I've always dated for that, like kind of, I don't want to date unless I see a future kind of thing. And if you're
not like the casual dating.
Right. And if you have that kind of clarity in junior high, then yeah, that makes sense.
I would argue that you're right, but then you're right specifically if that's who you are. If that's not who you are, then it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I just look. There's 25 of these, so I'm just gonna try to skip through
all of them. Crush them.
Yeah. Number 16. It's a waste of time.
That's fair.
It
9 out of 100.
Relationship in junior high. Yeah, it's a waste of time. 17.
Try telling a fucking 13-year-old that though.
Yeah, if you told me that, I'd cry and write a poem.
Yeah. You know this is going to matter in 5 years. Fuck you, Dad.
Fuck you. This is my life.
I love Josephine.
I watched Degrassi. I know what's up. Number 17. They do it to look cool, not to love each other. Huh. Status.
That was not my experience. I could see that, but that was not my experience.
Definitely. You see it in the jock crowd and the cool kids crowd.
That is the quote-unquote popular crowd.
Yeah.
I would agree with that to an extent.
Again, another thing that follows you into adult age and people just status marriages and like what would look good. Yeah. Oh, my God. Mm-hmm. We're getting into it now.
Oh, we're like real philosophers here.
Like, I don't know if anyone's ever noticed this. Number 18.
Breaking ground.
It always causes awkward conversations after the breakup. Okay, yeah.
Again, that's across the board.
Same kind of thing. But when you're in junior high, the social pool is much smaller.
Yes, that's fair.
Number 19. Immaturity leads to distress. I don't know what that means. Other than just repeating what earlier. Like, they're not mature enough and there's a lot of drama.
Yeah, I guess.
Number 20. They're too young. We saw that one. 21. You will get caught up in the relationship and not know how to end it. And when it ends, you'll be heartbroken. Okay, that's just relationships.
That's across the board.
Yeah, okay. Not particular to junior hires.
No.
22 makes your friends uncomfortable.
Again,
that's a good one.
Another one.
No. That's a good one. I think if you're like if you're in junior high, you're like that's the age where you start to notice girls and you start to pursue them, and that part of your brain starts working.
Are you talking about like if your brain starts switching to that and your friends haven't?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
In that case, I would say okay.
Yeah.
The way I heard it was like
no. I can see if your friends don't like your girl.
Here's a fun story though, because this is what I went to. This one chick, I'll say her name. Her name was Selma.
What was what?
Selma.
Like as in the witch trials?
No, that's Salem.
That's Salem. Never mind.
Are you dyslexic?
Go on.
Selma. So one of the most beautiful, sexy women I've ever, I guess, dated. We were in a relationship, but like we were kind of seeing each other. And so we got I was going to like Red Lobster to meet some friends. Red Lobster's where they have like the biscuits.
Yes.
Okay.
You could come if you want to.
No, no, but
Call back.
But I did say, I was like, hey, if you want to join us, like I'm going to some friends, it'd be cool. And she's like, I'll meet you there because I'm doing some stuff. And she showed up and she was just kind of weird and picking biscuits. And then we'll go in a different story to where like after work one day, a bunch of us, these weren't like my tight friends, but like some work people, we all went to like Corky's. And she was like, I'm going to meet you there. And she went to a party and got like hammered and came and like literally, if you're watching, if you're not listening, like if you're watching, she showed up after we were finishing and she was like, are you done with that? And just fingering into people's food and eating it. And I was like, cause like I said, she was hot.
Yeah.
Super sexy. Still, her like hammered, picking at people's food. It was like,
deal breaker.
this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
This is embarrassing. And that there's a whole other story that happens that night.
But
so when that's what I thought of when it was like she makes your friends feel awkward,
and
uncomfortable.
Yeah,
that's where my head went. Was
okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's without
across
age
board kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. 23. All you do is hold hands and aren't actually dating.
Yes.
That's a good one.
100%.
That should be number one. It's like, are you in a relationship?
So
I had one of those in high school.
When you said this list, that's the kind of thing I was thinking of.
Right, me too. Okay, how's that the 23rd? Okay, because these kids overthink it. Yep, everyone I know is bragging about their boyfriend when they aren't actually dating. All you do is hold hands while you walk beside each other, or maybe, just maybe, you'll actually kiss, but it's rare. You want to hold hands on the way to PE? Yeah.
Yeah.
24. Can end up with blackmailing nudes? Oh my God. Come on. Stop it.
No.
You're 12.
That's high school.
Wait for high school for that.
That's high school.
At least you want to practice in high school so you're good at it in college.
I feel like high school is when the blackmail comes out. Now college, the girl's like, fine, just show him. I don't give a shit. Show him.
Show him. I already sent it to him. 25, last one. They may get into situations which should never happen in people their age. Okay, yeah, well, that sums up
yeah.
I mean, but you can apply that to anything. They shouldn't go to school because they might end up in a school shooting, and it should never happen to kids their age.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're talking more like sexual situations.
Yeah, obviously.
But that you could argue, honestly, if we wanted to get into it, you could argue that about high school.
Exactly.
You could even argue that about, if we're getting super subjective, that the 37-year-old guy who has 3 kids with 3 different women and can't support any of them.
Probably should not be having sex.
Maybe he should not put himself in a situation where he's doing things he shouldn't be doing.
Should just not be having sex. It's just pretty like, oh God. Okay. Yeah. We should issue licenses for sex. Like you should apply and.
As dystopian as that is, I don't disagree.
I mean, granted, these are a couple of early 30-year-olds saying that, but
I fully. I think I made the joke during the whole pandemic thing when things were starting to reopen.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone. I was like, I am completely 100%. Forget the vaccines and all that shit. But I was like, I am 100% in support of people taking like a permit test to be able to drink alcohol in public.
Oh yeah. Okay. Huh.
Like you have to go take a test, talk to a psychologist how you would respond certain ways,
and then have a written test.
And then and if you're not a fucking psychopath, you get a card or a stamp on your ID that says you're allowed to drink in public. Otherwise, you have to drink at home.
Yeah.
100% in support of that.
That way, yeah. So oh my God, if they because you can get that when you're 13. If you pass that test,
I'm fine with that.
And you're fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. I know 30-year-olds, me, that shouldn't be drinking. But
no, I absolutely agree. If a 13 or 14-year-old can pass a test saying that they're mature enough and smart enough to drink alcohol or whatever and be responsible, I will 100% feel comfortable serving them. Yeah. If they show me a 100% legit card saying they passed the test, here's your whiskey, Joey.
Way more merit than just how long they've been running around the sun.
Absolutely.
I give a shit how old you are. I mean,
like, here you are, sport.
Yeah. Here you go, little buddy. Don't talk to her. She's got the clap.
And then not to mention, if a 13-year-old loves the taste of beer, more respect.
More, right?
You hated the taste of beer at that age.
Let me guess. Mike's Hard? Wait, is Mike's Hard still around?
It is.
Mike's Hard Lemonade is still around.
It is still around.
Wow, I'd love to have one just for nostalgia's sake.
I don't think I've had one. I probably had one at some point.
You've had one.
I probably had. My drink in high school was Michelob Ultra. Well, because
such a hipster.
Well, no, because at the time, now everyone knows it as like the beer as an adult. It's the beer that like you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to cut the calories or whatever.
I didn't know.
At the time, I just thought it was fancy Bud Light.
Oh yeah, that's what I always.
Because Michelob is technically, as far as an Anheuser-Busch brand, Michelob is like the nicer brand, quote unquote.
Okay.
So I thought it was like, oh, it's a better Bud Light. The beer snob I am now, extremely embarrassing that I was proud of myself for drinking Michelob Ultra.
Early, yeah, that'd be a fun discussion sometimes. Just drink preferences, because I always tell people the reason why I got into IPAs, the reason why me and my friends liked IPAs when we started drinking was because they're higher alcohol content.
Sure.
And you get more bang for your buck, really. So we developed a taste for it.
Well, the way, too off topic, the way I got into IPAs was sort of, the way I explain it is like, it's kind of like when you're in high school and you start drinking Bud Light, Coors Light, all that shit. You don't like the taste, but then as you drink it more, you become accustomed to it, you acquire it. And then there's the next step of like the different styles of beer. Like some like a Guinness I think is easier to get into. Mm-hmm. But like IPAs, barley wines, like certain type of styles like
ambers, lagers.
Yeah, you kind of have to readjust yourself and get into it. Kind of like you did in high school with Bud Light.
Yeah.
You have to kind of reacquire different tastes.
Definitely.
Because now there was a time where like IPAs I would struggle with, and now that's my shit.
Yeah.
IPA is my go-to. Anyway, that's number 26 on the list is the things why you should get in a relationship in high school is because the IPAs.
You can't drink.
You can't drink. Can't drink away.
God, can you imagine like go take a junior high like date, down to the malt shop or whatever the fuck they do now?
I think. So the girl I was talking about, I think the dates we went on was mainly like we would 90% of the time like I had to like bring a friend.
Yeah,
to get
like
dropped off
thing, yeah.
And then like so my mom would drop me off, me and my buddy, and then her mom would drop her off, and her friend. And she was really cool. Like her friends would be down to make out with my friends, so it wasn't a problem. This is why it was true love.
But then she got hammered and it was weird. Or no, this is someone else. I'm sorry. Different story. I'm mixing stories. Oh. Yeah, I mixed your junior high story with that super hot girl that got hammered at Corey's.
Oh yeah, different story.
Yeah, different story.
Different story. Completely different story.
As I think about it, it makes sense. It's like I was dating this girl when I was a junior high, and she got drunk. And
she got so hammered. She started picking off the food at Corky's at 3 a.m.
It's just, junior high, man. Anyway, who let it? Was it me? I think it was you. No, who let in? I forgot. That was you.
Me.
Oh, okay. Take us home, Mike.
So that was a segment-heavy episode. EverAfter and Mitch's List.
Very heavy. Very segment-heavy. A lot of segments.
I think we dived too deep into that at some points of the middle school shit.
Yeah, probably.
Which is fine. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Have a good one.
Have a good one. Yeah.